今天我们入乡随俗啊，因为我们在 CA 的场地，然后我们待会儿还有 CA 的这个嘉宾，然后课程的这个首席设计师，所以我就用英文来去主持这个活动，好吗？Okay. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's event. So I'm very excited to see all of you here today, and because I haven't seen all of you for a long time. I think last event we had here in CA is about 1.5 years ago, and last physical event we have run is probably about 1 year and 3 months ago. So today I still feeling like we are still in COVID-19 because the room is still a bit empty. I think coming up we got more event organized, and I'm looking forward to more and more coming to join us. So tonight, so firstly, I would show my thanks to our CA peer. So Navini over there as a representative of CA, and it's a very honor to have her come to support us today, and for the great facility here, and also for the resources and the leader of the CA program who is gonna show us the update later. Also, I would say thank you to Nuna and Colin, who gonna be our guest speaker to share their story as a young professional, young CA with all of you. I'm looking forward to that. Next, I just do a little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Mike Liang. I'm one of the founder of ACAA. ACAA was founded about in October 2016. At that point in time, we have 5 founders. So we have honor to have one of the founders tonight here with us, Ruyi. Ruyi is also our NSW branch president. Yeah. So looking back in last 4 or 5 years, ACAA has been consistently deliver our passion and our aims. So as you can see from the PPT, so our purpose is to connect, empower, and promote accountants in Australia with Chinese background. And we would like to encourage them to share between each other, and we try to build up the bridges of Chinese accountant community with local professional bodies like CA. And we want to equip them with up-to-date soft skills, technical skills, resilience to work, and live a happy professional life. We also aim to become their voice and represent the whole Chinese accountant community to voice out. So that's where we are coming from. So in last 4 or 5 years, we have delivered about, in total, I think more than 80 events. Physical events and offline events, I think at least 50. I got accurate number, but I haven't looked at the static at the moment, but I think it's definitely more than that. And in this year, we are looking to restore all of the activities which have been disrupted by COVID-19 in the last 12 or 13 or 14 months. I would like to share with you a bit update of the ACAA. Before that, I think next page just give you a little bit of glimpse of the how we're looking here. Oh, more than that, 100 more events. So we got 300 fee-paying members, and we got more than 1,000 WeChat members, and we got 3,000 subscribers of our platform, social media. So coming up, I think just by the chance, I just want to give a bit of update we are planning at the moment. So one, so we are trying to expand our board member. So our structure is governed by a board, consists of very, very senior people, and who give the strategic support of the association. And Rui and myself are two of the board members, and then we also have Andrew, Lin, and Joyce. And we would like to expand that. We have been talking with a lot more capable people so that we got more support and resources for members. And also, we are recruiting a operation and marketing administrator or manager, and so that we can have a dedicated person to support. We used to have one, and now so we are just in the transition period. So if you know any good one, or if you are interested, you are more than welcome to talk to me. So we are looking and interviewing candidates at the moment. Another thing I would like to share with you that's exciting, that I definitely looking for a larger base of the members and the audience or the people getting connected coming up months. We are planning to reduce the membership fee at the moment, and we are inviting a lot of sponsors to financial support the organization, and so that we have a capability financially and a lot of people to deliver what we are aiming to deliver to our Chinese economy community. Any questions so far? No? All right. Okay. So let's. So what's the next page? Okay. That's our topic tonight. It's a very honored to have Michelle tonight. So Michelle joined CA ANZ in 2018 as program design leader for the new CA program, and is responsible for working with employer and CA and candidates to redesign the CA program, which already has been announced in the last few months. And the redesign has two key goals: to improve the candidate experience and to enable and equip new CA with professional and technical capability required in the rapidly growing, changing future of the work. So before joining CA ANZ, Michelle was head of learning design at Deakin Co., the corporate arm of Deakin University, where she specialized in designing complex data-driven and award-winning digital learning program across various sectors and industries. She is passionate emerging learning technology, building professional capability, and enabling what's the next one? So I'm going to hand over to Michelle, if Michelle is online. So Michelle is gonna brief us and give you update about the new program from Melbourne. Michelle?
Hello. Thank you, and thank you for having me. I'll just get the slides up. Can you hear me okay? Can you see my screen now? Yep. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I thought it's a great opportunity to talk you through the new CA program, which, as Mike just mentioned, we launched in market last year, a couple of weeks ago. Great. I'm sorry, I just couldn't quite tell if you could hear me or not. Okay, Okay, so the new CA program was launched into market last month, so we were really excited about that. And it really is, as we just mentioned in the intro, around enabling the future of our next generation of accountants coming into the market. So you'll see from all the marketing, and you may have seen some of this already on our website, the new program is all about Hello Future. So why have we transformed the CA program? We know accounting practices are being disrupted by new technologies. So the way accountants do their work and the type of work being done has changed significantly. So that means our chartered accountants will need new capabilities in the future. Now, our candidates and our employers told us that the CA program was very rigid in the design and delivery and needed to be reflective of how the profession is evolving to ensure it continues to meet employers' needs and that we can continue to attract the best and brightest. So we completed a strategic review back in 2017 where we talked to over 700 members across Australia and New Zealand. And we also received ongoing feedback from our candidates through our module surveys and from our annual trackers. Can you hear me, Nate?
All this prove that the technical, like the digital transformation is so important, because nowadays, like if you want to have some event and nobody knows how to do it in the digital world, nothing can be done. So it's
Can you hear me now, Nate?
To learn something new and like to digitize everything. So it's good now. So we just have some technical issues just now. Okay, now let's welcome Michelle to restart the. Can we hear her? Yeah, can we hear her? Hi, Michelle.
Can you hear me now?
Use the microphone.
Testing.
Yeah, Michelle, can you restart the presentation?
Yeah, sure.
We are
Yeah.
set up. And now, all good now. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
No worries.
All yours.
Thank you. I'll start again, and hopefully this time you get to hear me as well. Ironically, one of the capabilities we're actually building in the new CA program is adaptive mindset and digital capability. So as I heard someone mention on the audio just now, these are really critical skills, and that's one of the reasons why we all need to be able to think on our feet. So I'm not sure if you could hear the start of this before, but certainly we have recently launched our new CA program on our website. You may have seen some marketing around it, and it is around Hello Future. So Hello Future is the new branding for the new CA program. And this has gone live on our website a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to get some more information after this presentation, you'll be able to go onto the Chartered Accountants ANZ website and look up the new CA program under apply for membership. So why did we decide to transform the program? As we just talked about, we know that accountancy is being disrupted by new technologies. By COVID-19, we all had to flip really quickly to not just adapt from a digital perspective, but also change our work processes and patterns to be able to adapt to the future of work. And so COVID in a lot of ways has really accelerated some of the things that we thought were going to happen a lot quicker, and you will have read a lot about that in the media recently. But we know accounting practices are being disrupted by new technologies. So the way that accountants do their work and the type of work being done has changed significantly. So we know that CAs in the future will need new capabilities to support this. We also heard from our candidates and employers that our CA program was really rigid in the design and the delivery, and it needed to reflect how the profession is evolving to ensure that it continues to meet employers' needs and is able to attract the best and brightest. So we completed a strategic review back in 2017 where we talked to over 700 members across Australia and New Zealand. We also receive a lot of feedback throughout the program as we run it currently today through our module surveys and our annual candidate and employer trackers. So from this feedback, we developed some of the high-level concepts on the future or the new CA program. So it's been designed with tomorrow's difference makers in mind. So the new CA program helps give candidates the skills and training they need for success, while ensuring we provide the best trained and brightest talent now and in the future. So how do we get there? I thought I'd just go back a couple of steps and I guess talk you through how we've arrived at this point. So you can see we've gone through a number of different consultation points through the last 4 years. So back in 2017, we completed the strategic review where we got that initial feedback around the program. We've also then completed a number of different focus groups, interviews, engaged with our employers and our candidates to find out what are those skills and what are the critical things that people are really looking for us to deliver in the CA program to help build those future capabilities. We've done a really big industry consultation piece around capabilities and what capabilities are required for accountants now and into the future. And so we also launched at the start of last year a product called our Capability Plus, which is a capability framework that really looks at the member journey in terms of what skills and capabilities they need from the CA program all the way through to retirement, so that you can go in, you can do a capability skills assessment, and you can see where you might have some gaps, or you can see what capabilities you might need to develop if you wanted to change careers or go into a different stream or any of those things. So we wanted to make sure that the new CA program was really closely aligned to those top skills and capabilities that our members felt that were really important to them now and into the future. So we've also completed a number of consultations with our GAA partners and other global accounting bodies. We wanted to also make sure that the new CA program was really rigorous in its assessment methodology. So we knew that one of the big pain points in our current program is around our assessments, and the changing nature of both university education and work means that people learn differently now through different mediums, and we wanted to be able to assess people differently through different methodologies. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So back at the start of, towards the end of 2019, we sent out a 78-page program design specification to ask for our members' feedback from all of these groups on the actual design of the program itself, and we received some really passionate and constructive feedback around what we were proposing, and that's all fed into the design as it stands today. So what's it all about? When we were designing the new CA program, we had two key principles in mind: flexibility and choice, and I'm going to talk a little bit about both of those two things today. So flexibility, relevance and choice have been really, really critical to us as we go through the program design. So we wanted to make sure that all of the materials were relevant and were really mimicking real world scenarios. So we've created simulated workplace challenges and case study based projects throughout the new program. So while the CA program as it currently stands is quite application based, it is very heavy on the textbook. So we've actually flipped that in the new program with a digital first approach, with case studies and learning materials all really focused on creating what we're calling what's called an authentic learning and assessment experience. We've got fewer exams, so there's no exams for core 1, 2, 5 or electives, and I'll show you what the program looks like in a moment. But one of the things that we heard from, as I said before, our members and our employers is that exams are a real pain point in that people have to be released in bulk to be able to attend those exam events. So it's quite a different structure in the program itself now, that we have more low stakes and medium stakes assessments throughout the program to keep people engaged and make sure that they're keeping up with the materials and get feedback on that. So we call that formative feedback through the program, with high stakes exams or assignments for some subjects. So rather than it being 100% exam based, one of the things that we're really committed to doing is having those authentic real life experiences, and to build professional skills throughout. So if we're asking people in the workplace to analyse a particular set of reports and then provide insights into that and present that back to a manager or a client, we wanted to be able to replicate some of those experiences in the program itself. So that's one of the reasons why we've changed some of the exams to assignments. They might be written assignments, they might be presentations, they might be a combination of both, so that we could really simulate some of those real world challenges. The timetable is quite different, so it's a staggered timetable to help relieve some of those scheduling pain points. And as I mentioned, there's assessments distributed throughout each subject, so they increase in complexity as you go through, to really help scaffold and build on that learning experience throughout. We have introduced electives. So electives was one of the things that we really heard loud and clear from our members and our employers and candidates through that feedback process, where they wanted some choice. So what we had to do is distill, and again, a big part of the consultation for us was to understand from our members' perspective what it is what the core skills of a CA were, so that we could make sure that all of that material is absolutely stays in the core, which it's been put into, and then we could really look at how we could engage our candidates in different areas. So in the new program, you'll see things like data analytics and insights, or strategy and business performance. We wanted to give candidates a bit more choice in terms of whether or not they wanted to go into a more specialised area. So the plan with the electives is that there's new learning choices. There'll be 4 when we go live in 60 days. So we're 60 days out from launch. So we'll have our first candidates coming through the program on the 14th of June. And there are 4 electives to choose from in the first year of the program. We've talked a little bit about this already, but I guess one of the key things for us was around amplifying those professional capabilities. So we want the new CA program to really encourage the growth of our candidates into ethical and trusted business partners, collaborators, communicators and influencers, digital transformation leaders, critical thinkers and problem solvers, and adaptive and reflective professionals. So being a bean counter is no longer enough. We're trying to teach people those skills that will help them to become better business partners within their organisations, regardless of their role. So throughout the new CA program, you'll see these graduate attributes. And as I mentioned before, they're very closely aligned to the research that we did for our Capability Plus model, which again is also available through our website. And we've distilled these into 3 key areas for our CA program. They're focused on communication, collaboration and relationships, problem solving and decision making, digital and data acumen, accounting technical expertise, ethics and integrity, critical thinking and judgment, and an adaptive mindset. Now, these aren't just one-off skills. We focus in the current program, we focus very heavily on these skills in Capstone. Throughout the new CA program, these actually are embedded throughout every accessible part of our course. So there's opportunities to practice these skills. We've got ethics is a really great example of that. We have ethics now embedded through every module or every subject, as they're called in the new program, but they're not ethical dilemmas as such. There'll be activities throughout the course where there might be an ethical element to a technical problem, so that you're really teaching those skills in context, because we know that in real life there's no signpost that says this is an ethical dilemma. So we've built those throughout so that they're more authentic in real life. Similarly, obviously, critical thinking and judgment is a really important part of being an accountant. So that's built in throughout the program as well. Some of the other ways that we're building these skills into the program, particularly around communication, collaboration and relationships, we've built in a number of different workshop activities and opportunities for our candidates, including things like group presentations and opportunities for candidates to demonstrate how they can collaborate with each other and build those relationships. Because we wanted to really not just, I guess, build these skills, but also build the opportunities throughout the program for networking to set our candidates up for success in their professional careers. So for those of you that are familiar with the current program, there are some key changes that we've made to our curriculum. So we've really revised the content to meet industry needs. So we've got subjects now that focus on topics such as risk, ethics, governance and technology. And you'll see on the next slide what the program looks like, and you'll see where these things are incorporated. I've just talked a bit about the professional skills across the entire program. Electives really, they're providing increased candidate choice. So these will include assurance, Tax Australia and Tax New Zealand, so Advanced Tax Australia and New Zealand, and financial reporting content as electives. We've also got additional electives around data analytics and insights, strategy and performance, and financial modelling in the future. Another thing that we heard from our current candidates is that some of the content covered in the program was designed to support people that perhaps had forgotten about some of the content that they'd learned at university, and to make way for some of these new specialty areas. We have reduced the amount of content that actually is covered already in an undergraduate degree. So candidates will have a very clear line in terms of what is assumed knowledge for us in the new program that's been communicated now, and again also available on our website. But to help candidates, we didn't want to take it away. So what we've actually done is created a whole resource centre of assumed knowledge content. So as you go through in our new digital ecosystem, if you've forgotten how to do a particular thing, whether it's a consolidation or how to read a financial a financial standard, there's actually links to our assumed knowledge content throughout our CA program content. So you can go and refresh, or you can go remind yourself how to do a particular calculation before we cover it at a higher level in the new CA program. So that's been designed, again, to support our candidates through. Flexibility and choice, as I mentioned, were the name of the game. So one of the really big differences in the new CA program is the way that it's structured. And this is to provide that flexibility to our candidates. So you'll know in the current program, there are 4 core modules and a capstone. In our new program, there are 7 core modules with 2 electives being required. But one of the key points to note here is it's actually not any longer than the current program. So what we had to do was cut up the subjects a little bit differently. So in the current program, our modules are all 12 weeks long. In the new program, our core subjects are 8 weeks long, with the electives being 6, and are 2 weeks for ethics and business. So the way that we've structured it is smaller modules or smaller subjects, but more often, so that people can actually move their way through the program at the same pace as they could. So we've gone to a 4-term timetable instead of 3 trimesters, which is currently what we have now. So another important thing to note, in our current program, there are 624 hours of directed learning. In the new program, there's 624 hours of directed learning, so it's no longer or more intense than the current program. So the way it works is, as you come through your entry pathway, Core 1, Ethics and Business, is really set up and designed to help our candidates succeed through the program. So we wanted to put ethics at the front and centre of everything we do in the new CA program, because it is such a critical part of being a chartered accountant. So ethics and business is the first 2-week subject. There's a workshop involved in that one, and candidates are really provided with a bit of a baseline, a taste of what the CA program is like, and some really critical skills around some of those communication, collaboration, relationships, and ethics. So once you've completed the Core 1, you can do any of Core 2, 3, 4, or the electives in any order. So again, one of the things that we wanted to be able to do is not make too many different rules for candidates to not be able to progress. So candidates can undertake risk and technology, financial accounting and reporting, or tax. And then if they wanted to go, so if you are working in tax and you wanted to accelerate your knowledge in that particular area, you might choose to do ethics and business. Tax is your first core, or Core 4, and then you might go straight on to advanced tax as an elective before coming back to do the other core subjects and choose your other elective. You can do the electives at any time as long as you've met the prerequisites. So some of them do have prerequisites. For example, advanced tax would be very difficult to do without tax, and assurance would be very difficult to do if you hadn't done audit and risk. So those 2 certainly have a prerequisite, but data analytics and insights and strategy and performance can be done at any time. So as long as you've done all 6 of your core subjects, you can then go on and do ICAP, which is the capstone unit, and complete the electives after that if you choose. So it enables you to really choose which subjects you want to do at a particular time through the year. So you can work around busy periods or things that are going on in your life. And really, they're designed to help build on each other. So Core 1 is really, Core 2, 3, and 4 are really integrated within the single discipline, whereas Core 5, 6, and then Core 7 are really integrating across disciplines before becoming that multidisciplinary capstone that you'd all be familiar with. Still, the 3 years mentored practical experience, we've provided a lot more support materials around that. And then once both of those 2 things have been completed, with the Graduate Diploma of Chartered Accounting awarded, you are then eligible to apply for full membership with CA ANZ. So the subject timetable, as I mentioned, Core 1 is offered at the beginning of every term, with an additional offering in term 4. So we're running that 5 times a year. ICAP is offered 4 times a year again, so in every term. And then core subjects are offered 2 to 4 times a year, depending on the schedule. Electives are based on demand. So we're running them all next year, all 4, through 2022, 21, term 3 and term 4 this year. and then we'll make some determinations based on how successful they are, how often they will run. Another key feature of the new CA program is that support that I mentioned. So we still have our CA study masterclasses, or CASM as we call those. That's an additional program that we offer for additional support for candidates. So it extends the material that they learn in the CA program. So they're designed to align with the new CA program and the assessment types, so that the workshops are in a particular space in each of the subjects. And there's on-demand content, recordings, and virtual classrooms through that CASM product. MPE, or our mentored practical experience, for any of you CAs in the room, you will remember your practical logbook, which would have been paper-based. We probably you fax it to us when you'd finished. We are going digital, which is exciting, with the MPE tracker. So you'll be able to apply online to be a mentor or a mentee through the CA program, and you'll log your experience through that mentored practical experience tracker. Slightly different rules for some of our employers that have arrangements in place for credit for that, and those credit rules will still apply. And then we have our foundations program, which is still that's the same as our current program, but refreshed to meet the requirements of the new CA program. So we'll continue to partner with Deakin University on that. And it maps directly, as I said, to the new CA program, with the added benefit, as I mentioned, of having that assumed knowledge library available to all candidates on demand throughout the entire CA program. We've also built in a lot of upfront diagnostics and tools to actually help candidates to do a really quick check on their skills before they actually start a particular module or subject, so that they can go away and refresh themselves on any content that they feel might be a gap. So we're really excited to launch the new CA program. As I mentioned, there's a lot of information on our website. And so if you've got friends or employees that are keen to find out more, definitely direct them to our website. It's just been refreshed, so there's a lot of frequently asked questions, and there's a whole bunch of information for candidates who are currently in our program on what transition might look like to them. So again, you can direct them to our CA website on that. And I thought I might just stop there for any questions, or we may be doing questions at the end. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we will encourage everyone in this this session. We want to encourage everyone to ask your question. We will give away 3 different gifts for the first 3 to ask questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
Could you please talk about something about the recognition of the work experience, please?
Yes, so in our current CA program, it's a requirement for CA ANZ membership to be a chartered accountant in Australia that you do 3 years of mentored practical experience with an approved supervisor. So that can be any CA member or a GAA equivalent member. That's a current requirement. So that requirement continues. It's part of our CA program of the future as well. We've spent a lot of time talking to our mentors and the candidates currently to understand what support they need from us. So we've created some new resources and materials for our candidates to and our mentors to use through a mentor resource centre. So there'll be information there for our candidates and mentors. But essentially, to be a CA, you need that 3 years or equivalent of practical work experience that we have a record of. So that's a current requirement, and that will continue into the future.
Thank you.
Hi, Michelle. My question is for the students who have already partially completed the existing program, and if they are keen to start on the new one, how would the credit get transferred? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. So there is a lot of information on our website on how to transition, and there's even a tool that you can actually type in the different modules that you've already completed in the current CA program, and it will recommend to you which modules you need to do in the new CA program. So it will be a direct credit transfer. Obviously, if you've done FIN in the current program, it's equivalent to financial accounting and reporting in the new program. So that will be absolutely credited across. We are absolutely encouraging people to come across where it makes sense to. So there is individual candidate communications that went out to provide some of that detail to current students. And you can certainly go and go have a look on the website to type in your details, and it will show you how to transition to the new program if that's what you want to do.
Okay, last question from here.
If I don't have work experience, can I start the CA program?
Yes, you can. So it doesn't have to be done at the same time or concurrently. You can do your 3 years or more, if you've got more, your practical work experience, and then apply for credit for that and complete the graduate diploma as a separate qualification. Or you can do it the other way around. So you could finish your undergraduate degree and go straight into the CA program, do the graduate diploma full-time, and then go into employment after that. So it doesn't have to be completed at the same time, but it does need to be completed within, I think off the top of my head, it's 8 years together before you apply for the full CA program, CA ANZ membership.
Thank you, Michelle. I actually have another question for you, because I finished my CA a long time ago, and look at this program. I think it's fantastic. Is there any ways that for us as alumni to learn something that from the new program?
Thank you. It's a very good question, and I forgot to mention that before. So all of our CA program subjects are actually available to members and non-members too, I believe, to actually go and complete those as what we call non-award subjects, which means you just go and do it for fun. But for CA members, we're actually planning to offer all of our new electives as CPD through our CPD store for members going forward. So if I know Sam Wilson, who I work with really closely, she's a CA, she can't wait to do data analytics and insights. So she's really excited about that. And she's going to enroll in that once, well, actually she can probably get credit because she's been reviewing it quite a lot for me lately. But so yes, you will be able to actually access some of those, and it is absolutely our plan to offer those as CPD.
Great. And I've got one more, because you mentioned the course itself, like in total, the length is similar to the previous one.
Yes.
And that means like the course provide wider kind of vision of what's the subject you can do. But previously we have 5 different subjects, right? And that means like the original subject is less deeper, like the content that they provided to the student is not as deeper as the previous one?
Not well, it depends on the area. So generally no. So what it means is, so in the current program, we have a lot of what really should be assumed knowledge. So content that candidates should come to the graduate, you know, the AQF 8 graduate program already knowing. And so we wanted to make sure that everyone had that knowledge. So we actually included it for candidates that were struggling. So candidates that were more advanced already knew it and it was boring for them because they already had been taught it. We've taken some of that content out so that we could put in some of these new specializations. There has been some content removed that wasn't relevant anymore. I haven't got the list off the top of my head, but certainly, you know, if anyone was really keen to understand what's been taken out, we can certainly provide that to you. But the other thing that we've done is split some of those subjects for tax, for example, into core and electives. So we've put all the core skills that every CA should know into that core module and then put some of that other stuff in the electives. So the depth is certainly still there. It's just cut up quite differently.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Is there any other questions from today? Before I go to the next session, the guest speaker is waiting. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Since online they don't have any more questions, thank you so much, Michelle, for your introduction and the detailed explanation of the new courses. And now we will introduce the next session is the guest speaker. So very, very happy that we will have Colin and Luna to join us for today. So they are both the CA alumni, and also they kind of both of them are graduates from the Big Four accounting firm. So let's welcome them to just kind of share about what their CA journey and talk about themselves. I'll introduce them one by one. So first of all is I introduce Colin. So would you be able to just introduce yourself and talk about your journey with CA and with your previous firm?
Of course.
Yeah. Welcome. You can just use that microphone. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Colin. Over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Should I continue? Okay. Can you hear me? So it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Should I just turn it this way? I can talk. Okay. It's a little bit weird to hear my voice, but it's okay. So first of all, thank you for ACAA and CA for this great opportunity for having me today. And before I start, I want to give you a brief introduction about myself. My name is Colin Lee, and I've been working with KPMG for 5 years and 8 months before I joined Allianz, just right before the pandemic starts, like in 2020, February. So now I've got 1 year and 3 months experience with Allianz already as a data analytics manager. So that's pretty much about my work experience. Regarding my journey with CA, I would like to spend more time on that. I joined KPMG in 2014. At that time, I was just a graduate with no accounting background. So to be eligible for CA program, I had to take all the bridging courses, which means 8 subjects. So it took me 2 years to complete that, which is quite awful from my personal experience, because you need to work and study at the same time. Especially when you're a junior person on the team, you've got a lot of expectations from the senior, from the managers. They want you to do a lot of things at the same time. So I found it quite struggling. So the first 2 years, just like that. So I spent the following 2 years focusing on the CA modules. Was really hard as well because CA, the difficulty level, if you compare that to the foundation program, is completely different. So I have a lot of friends who failed financial accounting and tax. So we heard about that before, right? So it's not as easy as you expected. It's very hard. So spent 2 years to finish the CA module and become a fully qualified CA in 2018. So that's pretty much about myself.
Thank you, Colin. So, can I just introduce Luna, who is our digital accelerator from PwC, to introduce a little bit about herself. And after that, I'm going to kind of invite you back to have some discussion.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, my name is Luna and I'm currently senior associate in PwC. I joined PwC about 3 years ago after my graduation from uni. And different from calling backgrounds, I am so-called the standard package from international students. I majored in accounting and finance. So joining and studying CA after graduation has become like a default option for me. But I also found being part of CA and getting done CA exams also helped me to provide a good foundation in the workplace. It also helped me to build trust with the teams, with the manager, that they can trust me that I can perform my work independently. So this also gives me more opportunities at work to gain more growth and learning more skills after that. So I will then pass to Colin.
Yep, so can I just invite Colin to come back to the stage? I've got one more question for both of you. Probably you can choose.
Take a photo first.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
take a photo first. All right, so for your both career, I know like it starts from the very similar situation, both in the Big Four and both start from grads and in the assurance area, right? But like along your career, what's the other skills on top of the CA studies you think it's crucial for your own development? And then it's lead to your current success in your current position, especially for Colin, because you change your company.
This is completely different.
Yeah, completely different routes, right? So what are the key skills that you need to pick up? And it's really crucial for both of you on the journey.
I'm gonna do the weird thing again. Okay. So, because you may know that I'm not doing any accounting or audit anymore. So my major focus now is the risk analytics. So basically, I'm not doing any accounting. So the day-to-day job by myself will be using Python or different kinds of tools to deliver the risk analytics. So it's going to be a little bit different. So if you want to do something similar, what I'm doing at the moment, of course, you need to pick up some technical skills, maybe 1 or 2 programming languages, and have a deeper understanding of databases, different kind of databases, and different kind of dialect of SQL. So that's a must. And from my current position, it is a requirement to deliver some really advanced analytics driven by process mining or machine learning. So of course, you need to have a very basic understanding of how these algorithms works, and how you can utilize them to solve a specific kind of question in your business. So that's the technical skill side. So from the soft skill side, I'm pretty sure that you need to be good when you're communicating with people. You should always be able to deliver your ideas to your audience clearly, especially when you're dealing with the non-technical people. You should be able to converting your language from the technical to the folks language, basically. I think that's the most important thing. Of course, another thing is coaching skills. When you have a larger team, you're slowly transferring your day-to-day work to the people working below you, right? So you should be able to coach them well and to transfer your knowledge and skill to them. That's it.
Yeah, totally agree. A lot of skills I found quite important in my current workplace as well. Just on top of that, I want to talk about the skills about adaptability to change and also being resourceful. The first being adaptable to change is the current workplace are evolving rapidly. That you may think that Bitcoin run into your life every day, and about 1 year ago, our firm get to the new clients are doing Bitcoin mining and investing. So they form a new team with the relative technical background, knowledge, and interest in this area. So people who prepare for the future and have the relevant knowledge can get these great opportunities to work in the team. Another skill that I found important being resourceful in the workplace is there are lots of opportunities in the work that you can, other than performing and complete the work, but also adding value to the team and to the business. So such as accelerator program is to help the team upskill and design the automation solutions for the team. One of the stories we had is the team used to spend like 100 hours copy pasting PDF documents into Excel. So then at first stage, people may start thinking how I can, as quick as picking information from the PDF so I can save hours in my work, but then thinking from differently about another solution is we can design something different, like a bot can selecting and extracting information from the PDF and then summarize it into Excel. So this manual process used to take about 100 hours for a person to conduct, and now the bot can finish all of them overnight, so people can get information the second day. So the takeaway from this is being resourceful, knowing all the possibilities can solve the issue, can help us to stand out and articulate the opportunities for the business.
The other question is like when you see this new courses program, and I saw you underneath, like, and you said, well, this is very interesting. What do you feel about the new courses? Like, is that like on the good way to change the way of that we work, or like, do you have the passion to do it again? Like, if you can, do you want to do it again, or like as what Michelle says, you can have the opportunities to do all of those elective again, and these will cover like risks and data analytics. All of those. What do you think? And is that like the one that you recommend to the previous CA alumni?
Frankly speaking, definitely not doing it again. But I would like to spend some time going through the data analytics module, the elective, to understand what is expected from CA specifically. That's something we're like interested in doing. Not to mention that you got some CPD hours, right?
Yeah, so
yeah, that's really good.
This will give you some CPD hours. Every year you have to correct yourself, and by learning something else, I'm sure like this is what's the purpose, like to go back to revisit like what you have.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations for the student that they are currently doing CA, or they are trying to enroll one of the kind of CA or CPA? Like any suggestions and recommendations from your perspective, like your experience?
I would say do it as soon as possible. So I do it right after my graduation, and I found it's easier to do it at your early stage of the career. I think it's a good foundation to equip yourself in the workplace. And also is having more time that you can dip into the course, and definitely grabbing more resource that you can leverage in the future. I would also recommend to really understand what you would like to get benefits from the course. And how to take exams will be another technique. So maybe to really understand what you are interested in and what's the course focus and what's the purpose of the design of the course. So I think this is the right place to really understand the whole course design, so that can set you apart from your peers, how you could take the most from the course.
And also I think like from the course you actually can create some networking, which is like very similar kind of background around you, and you can grow and learn with them. And a very interesting story is like I did CA a long time ago, and on the table there are other CA members like from different Big Four. And now, current days, one day I found when I go to the client, and I suddenly found he is the like group reporting manager in one of the companies, and we still kind of like know each other, and we try to kind of like pick up our relationship after like 5 or 8 years. Then I think on my table when I go back to remember like who is who, and I found like everyone is growing to above the above the finance manager or senior manager level. So I think like you can make up some good quality of your networking via this program as well. I think this is really important. And also like I want to kind of promote our ACAA program as well. Like if you want to make a very, very good quality networking, join us, and we will give you a lot of like good opportunities to meet professionals from different areas, especially in accounting area. Yeah. Okay. Is there any questions from online or on site?
Sorry, my question is for Colin. I understand you are the data analytics manager there. There have been several data analytics tools, things like Python, R, or whatever there, and also in terms of presentation, the Tableau, the Power BI. So which one is the more prevailing one? And also in the future, do you think there will be other programming language come on board to replace Python? So if I am learning Python now, would that be obsolete in 3-5 years?
Yeah, I think you raised a series of questions. Let me start from the first one. You mentioned that there's so many tools, right? Python, R, and for visualization too, we have Power BI, Tableau, like a MicroStrategy, ClickView, so many different things, right? And they are there for different purposes, right? So if you think Python is primarily used for solving problems, specifically based on machine learning. So a lot of machine learning algorithms are written in Python, so which you can call the module directly without just writing everything from scratch again, right? Which is quite easy for the data scientist to use it. And if you think about R, so a lot of statisticians are using that. So it's quite academic. So if you go to university, I'm pretty sure you will be spending some time to learn how to code in R, because a lot of classic books are written in R. Yeah, and for visualization tools, of course, Power BI is free. Everyone just can download and use it. So that's the reason why it's very popular at the moment. And the Power BI, right? Tableau. So for the Tableau, you have to pay.
But Tableau is yearly subscription. It's like $8,000 per year. Think about it's not for an organization, right? So it's $8,000 per each. You can't use Power BI to run the query. You have to use like Python or
you two are very professional team leaders. So I was wondering, what would you expect from your team member? For example, would you expect they have their technical skills ready? What kind of skill set would you expect?
But what I do see from the current workplace, there are more and more graduates are equipping themselves with those data wrangling and data visualization skills. From a new graduate or from a new students right into the workplace, how to standing out with those new skills becoming increasingly important. But then if you're going to a workplace that you are directly applying for that are requiring you a specific technical skills, then definitely being proficient in those technical skills will be the basic requirement for those. For myself, I will expect my junior accountant to be able to grab those new tools, no matter whether it's like Ultrix or other Python. They are eager to learn, or at least they are not afraid to be open-minded to those solutions. Secondly, I would expect them to be able to be a problem solver, to identify the opportunities and the issues in the process, and always applying a problem-solving mindset that they can find a better solution for that. So if we don't have the technical capacity to really solve the problem, are they able to navigate and find the relevant resource to solve the problem? Also, I think it's a critical skill in the workplace.
Thank you. Yep.
And from me, I think my expectation for my junior analyst would be you should have a very good understanding about how programming works, right? You understand the basic concepts. Like, it doesn't really matter which kind of language you use when you're writing your program, whether you use R, Python. There's some similar structures happens in every single language. So if you know them, you need to declare variables. You need to have similar data structures in each programming language. You have while loop, for loop, if statements. That happens in all programming language. So I would expect my analyst to have a very basic understanding of how those things work, like have a very good understanding of some really basic concept, like how the object-oriented programming work, and also a great mindset to learn new things, like a great attitude, because this industry is evolving so fast. You need to get ready and just keep learning. So I think that's my expectation.
Because as accounting students, we need to learn like data analytics, you need to learn computer science to compete with IT. And IT, they probably need to understand a little bit accounting to compete with the existing like accountants. So it's a kind of journey that everyone needs to go through. So that means like everyone, you need to study a lot harder than before. So even myself, like I still learn every day to adapt it to the new changes like transformation, digitize that yourself. Not just the technical accounting, but also the other kind of all sorts of knowledge you have to know. So there is no easy way to go, and I hope like everyone can keep learning, keep challenging yourself. Thank you so much for today, and I hope you, hope you enjoyed this session. And now I let Navina, which is from CA, to close our session. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Dear representatives of the Association of Chinese Accountants Australia, keynote speakers, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to deliver a vote of thanks and closing remarks on this occasion. I, Manager International Liaison for International Development, on behalf of Chartered Accountants Australia, New Zealand, CANZ, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all presenters for gracing your important work and sharing with us knowledge on our refreshed CA program and young CA member experience and contribution to the profession. Having these kind of sessions is an initiative coordinated by ACAA and Adele Evans, CAN's General Manager, International Development and Growth, who was not able to attend today's event, unfortunately, and she extends her apology. We are pleased to host these sessions and network with all of you to strengthen our collaboration with ACAA and mutual work in the future. Hope you are all inspired with the two informative sessions, and we are indeed excited that the new CA program has been launched and will be up and running soon. The program is designed with tomorrow's difference maker in mind, helping to give candidates the skills and training they need for the success, while ensuring you have the best trained and the brightest talent now and in the future. And this was evident from the young CA member experience. A big thank you to Michelle Ryan, our program design leader for the new CA program, Colin Lee, Data Analytics Manager, Alliance Australia, Luna Zoe, Senior Associate, Assurance and Digital Transformation for their valuable time, effort, and explanation for the new CA program features, emerging technologies, digitization, risk, and data analytics, and the role CANZ plays in looking at ways we can be more appealing and attractive, creating greater flexibility while still maintaining high standards. I now invite Rui Jin, PwC Senior Manager, to give away the tokens of appreciation to Colin and Luna. And thank you for your enormous support. And we also give a special thank you to Michelle, who joined us from Melbourne today, and we express our gratitude. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to Jared and Sonu of CANZ and ACA staff members for their involvement to ensure perfect logistic support and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Thank you to the team responsible for all the technical arrangements, stage setting, and catering. If not for you, it would be impossible for us to carry out a hybrid event of this nature post-COVID. Lastly, I thank you for all of you for being with us today, and it has been a great pleasure to host you. You will undoubtedly agree that we have had a great session today with excellent coverage, and I wish you a safe journey back home. Thank you. Zieni. I hope I pronounced that properly.
大家如果还有什么问题或者想私下交流的话，我们还可以有10分钟的时间啊，然后大家可以再做一些 social 和 networking 啊，然后谢谢大家，再次感谢大家参加我们活动。然后 Malcolm 还有 Late 是我们协会的志愿者，然后他们前2天来了3次去测试一些设备，然后也花了大量的时间。然后Malcolm 是从阿尔马塔这边特地赶过来支持我们的活动。我们协会也是有这样非常热心的、非常多这样的热心的志愿者。所以我们协会才能走到今天，非常感谢大家的参加，也继续关注我们协会啊。